right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 3rd, 2025 Budget Board meeting. This is our call to order, so I'll do roll call first. Alan Eblin.
Here.
Carol Cook.
Here.
We don't have Dan Beard. Charlie Tremblay.
Here.
Bob Wester.
Yes.
We don't have Dimitri. Kai Leffler.
Here.
David Jordan.
Here.
Dave Betzis.
Here.
And myself, Michelle Powell. Do we have anyone on Zoom?
No one on Zoom yet.
Okay. Rick Wakeland might join. I'm not 100% certain about that. But so at the beginning of this week, Lori was kind enough to email us changes. One of them is affecting CHEMS and the budget board vote, increasing their contribution to them for $30,000. And contingent upon them reducing their contribution to their endowment by the same amount. So we'll definitely open that up to discussion tonight. And the other item that Lori mentioned in her email was about the head of the Harbor Pier Road allotment for $150,000, and it was mentioned to make that the last priority to other projects that need to have funding for the resiliency. So I'm opening up to discussion and questions. And yes,
a question on the on that pier, the head of the harbor piece. So I read through it and I understand it, but we're still going to go with the 150 for doing the study. Is that correct?
Yeah, the board decided at the end to keep the 150 in there, but they want to not move forward with it until we finish up a couple other projects.
How good is that 150 going to be? In other words, if we postpone the work on head of the harbor for 3 years, are we going to have to go back and do a similar type of study? So I just want to make sure that the 150 is something that money well spent because it'll be used.
Yeah, the 150 is money that will take the design all the way through that process and get it ready for bid. So it's something that wouldn't change.
Okay, thank you.
And a related question, so do I understand that we need to do that in order to apply for a grant?
So the one with the grant is it was originally 800,000, now 750,000, match towards the hazard mitigation grant for Ocean Avenue. I did get some word from the state today that looks like our grant is very favorable. So that one is the match. The 150 is just our project alone.
But is it possible that
Then we
the
could,
outcome of that could be to apply
Correct,
for a grant,
yeah.
but not yet?
correct.
Okay, thank you.
So I just have a quick question on the 30,000 for chems. Just curiosity, I don't really have a problem with it, just what prompted that?
I think as they were looking over the various contributions to outside groups, and they saw that the library was increasing, the Graves Library was increasing by 30,000, and there was discussion amongst some board members that they felt like CHEMS had held the line. And, you know, we have liaisons to the library and liaisons to CHEMS, and they felt like it was a bit unfair because CHEMS had increased their endowment contribution in order to keep that flat. And so they thought in fairness, they should increase both by 30,000 with the understanding that CHEMS would decrease their endowment contribution so that there can have more longevity to that endowment.
So typically their endowment is, what they use out of the endowment is interest or something to that nature?
Yeah, so the library has a policy that they take 4%, so that way the growth should exceed that. CHEMS does not have a policy like that, and they, over the last few years, have been taking 8 to 12%. And the board is concerned that they're consuming too much.
Thanks so much.
so as a matter of housekeeping tonight, as far as the minutes are concerned that Carol writes down, as we're motioning and seconding the motion, if we can announce who we are at the time we're making that motion. And also, we're going to just do a summary of the of what we're reading here for the dollar amount. If we could just read what is included in that. We don't need to read the individual dollar amounts that comprise it. We just can say, you know, motion for whatever for this amount, which is comprised of these different areas. If we could do that to help with the minutes, please. Okay. Shall we start calling for votes then?
Here comes Dimitri.
Okay.
We need to get him a chair. You have a chair now.
Hello?
So this is Dave Jordan. I'll move we accept the minutes for the last meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second on that? Dave Jordan moved that we accept the minutes from the last meeting. I second that. All
Michelle,
in favor? Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
before we start voting, Michelle, did
Yeah.
have a question. I'm just wanting to make sure everybody has aware that on the RSU 21 budget, the latest number, and please correct me if this is inaccurate, but what I saw that they're talking it today, but the Kennebunkport portion of that is expected to be 14.2 million, which is a 9.4% increase from last year. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's reflective of the commitment page we gave you on March 20th, but yes,
Okay.
that's the first reading number. So whether that will change or not, I don't know.
Okay. And the reason I brought that up is just because, again, that's a pretty big increase, and across the board, we've seen more or less increases, and so I just thought I'd make sure everybody was on the same page in terms of seeing what we're voting against, for, I should say.
What's encompassed in that vote?
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's get started. Do I hear a motion for the amount for general government program expenses?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Bob Wester. Just done the total, the 26, 2,692,375. I vote to do that.
That's
This is
perfect.
Dave
Sounds
Jordan.
cool.
I'll second that.
Okay, and under that, administration, conservation commission, legal fees, insurance, community development, planning and development. So we have a motion and a second, Bob Wester and David Jordan. Okay, do I hear a motion for the amount for public safety program expenses?
Are you going to vote?
Oh, yeah, sorry, that would be helpful.
I thought I missed
Can you
it.
tell him all in
didn't
favor
hear
of
that vote?
accepting? I knew I was gonna forget that, the general government program expenses.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Looks unanimous.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve for public safety program expenses, $4,045,244, which comprises police, communications, fire, chems, emergency management, animal control, and harbor master, and this is Dave Jordan.
And did we want to consider the $30,000 increase for chems, which would, how do we do that?
Yeah, so if you were, then your number would be 4,075,000.
I amend my motion to include the 30,000 extra for chems, which is 4,075,244.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do I hear a motion for the health and welfare program expenses?
I'll move the motion to include the solid waste, public health budgets, welfare, social services, shellfish conservation, and public restrooms at the amount of $1,199,927.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do I hear a motion for the public works program expenses?
I move that we adopt $1,631,308 for the Highway Department, hydrants, shade tree committee, streetlights, and cemetery. And I had Kai Leffler.
Second? David Betts.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, I'll move that general government program expenses to the amount of $2,692,375 for administration, conservation commission, legal fees, insurance, community development, planning and development be approved. This is Dave Jordan.
Thank you. That was our first vote, so I think we're all
Right.
set with that one.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, same.
Just turn the
Oh,
page.
Yeah,
I
so,
didn't turn the page.
yeah,
Sorry.
no worries. Okay. Do I hear a motion for the recreation, culture, contingency, and miscellaneous program
All right.
expenses?
I'll try again.
Okay.
I flipped the page, but I didn't turn it. Yes, so I move that the recreation, culture, contingency, and miscellaneous program expenses be approved $800,918 for recreation, Graves Library, Cape Porpoise Library, Parsons Way, Goose Rock's Beach Advisory, Reserve, Local Circuit Breaker, contingency, and miscellaneous. And this is Dave Jordan.
Second.
Okay.
Kai
All-
Leffler.
Okay, thank
Sorry.
you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Do I hear a motion for the capital expenses and reserve account and debt service payments?
Sure, I'll move that we allocate $3,946,942 to cover capital administration, capital police, capital for communications, capital for fire, and capital for highway, capital for public health and road improvement, capital for sidewalk, capital for emergency management, capital for recreation, capital for special projects, and capital for peers.
Second. Oh, we left out the last one.
That's,
Debt service,
Oh,
just
Cap-
add that.
so, I'm sorry. So this is to cover capital expenses and reserve account and debt service payments. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, the last item, okay.
Okay. And
Second.
who- Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do we need to read the grand total of it all? Okay. Well, I think on that note, is that easy? Pretty much.
There was a lot to lead us here, yes.
spend a lot of money real quick.
As one does. Okay, everyone. Well,
And we have the warrant, and there are a few items on here that the budget board makes recommendations. Tracy, do you want to lead people through that, or? I had sent the copy with the highlighted, so
Yep.
that those are the ones we need budget board recommendation.
thank you.
So if you're looking at the warrant, you'll start with Article 3, and this will just save you from having to come back next week if you do your votes tonight. So I didn't think anyone would object to that. So Article 3 is just one of our standard articles. Do you want me to read the whole thing, Lori?
It's up to the, I mean, they can all read it.
Okay,
Yeah, we did receive it
okay.
already.
So we're just looking for a vote for Article 3 at this time.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept Article 3 as written?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Kai Leffler, sorry.
Aye.
Sorry.
And then the next
Okay,
one
yeah, okay.
will be Article 5, which is the general government expenses that you voted an amount of $2,692,375. So I'll be plugging that number in after the fact. But if you'd like to vote on the article now, that would be great.
Dave Jordan, I move we approve Article 5.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Article 6 is the public safety program in the amount of $4,075,244.
Dave Jordan, I move we approve Article 6.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then Article 7 is health and welfare, and that amount is $1,199,927.
I move that we accept Article 7 as written.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And Article 8 is public works in the amount of $1,631,308.
I move that we accept Article 8 as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then Article 9 will be recreation, culture, contingency, and miscellaneous program expenses, and that amount was $800,918.
I'll move we accept Article 9 as written.
Second.
Dave Jordan.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then Article 10 is capital expense and reserve account and debt service payments in the amount of $3,946,942.
I move we accept Article 10 as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then Article 11 is again one of our standard articles that gives the town the ability to appropriate money from estimated non-property tax revenues and from undesignated fund balance and from capital reserve account to reduce the property tax commitment.
I move it as written. Article 11 is written.
Second, Kai Leffler.
All in favor?
Okay, I think that's it for the budget board and the warrant, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So do you want, Tracy, before you go, do you want to just talk about town meeting and next steps for the budget board?
Sure, so town meeting, as we changed it last year, is on Wednesday night now after the June election. So it will be Wednesday, June 11th at 6 PM at Consolidated School. So if you could put that on your calendar, that would be great. We usually have the budget board there as well as the selectmen to support the budget as presented. And I think that's pretty much it. So you'll come to the town meeting and help with the vote and invite all your friends and get as much support as you can for all the hard work that Lori and her team have done for the budget.
Yeah, and we just want to thank everybody for the time and the commitment over the last month. And certainly, if other questions come up, you know our number, and feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the
Thank
hard
you.
work.
That was
Thank you for
really
wonderful
excellent work.
presentations.
Sorry, these guys had to come out for this. Kind of anticlimactic. But thanks for everything you guys did. It made it a lot easier for us too. Appreciate it.
Right.
So, does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn now?
I'll make that motion.
Second, Melanie.
Okay. All in favor?
all in favor.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone.